Oh, that was annoying. the I got interrupted by saying I had too much storage. Um, so yeah, that was annoying, but I had to just clear some room off my iPad, and yeah, we're back to the Q&A. So yeah, it's gonna be a long video, but yeah, back onto the subject, onto the Razor Cage. I don't think it's cheating. In all fairness, like I said, I don't think it's cheating. And like I said, I did like the look of it. I mean, I like the look of the weapon at the front, but like I said, I think if you're in the pit, in my opinion, you're in the pit. You're in the pit. If the robot is stuck, or like I said, what I mean by it, if you're stuck on the pit and can't go away, you're in the pit, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it's just one of those big moments in Robot Wars history that will be talked about for years and years and years. But yeah, that's my opinion on the Razor Cage. Is if is I think it's okay. I don't think it's cheating, but I think if Tornado is in the pit, they're in the pit. But I need to re-watch that fight in all for fairness. But yeah, that's just my opinion on the Razor Cage sort of thing. But yeah, and on to the last question from Razor 1905, which is favorite fan-made Robot Wars series and robot. So, like I said, my favorite fan-made Robot Wars series is Lego Bots by Hogwire94, because that's the first robot. My favorite fan-made Robot Wars robot, I'd say, is Grated Carrot, because it's one of those robots that because I just like the design of Grated Carrot. It's quite a cool machine, and I like the design of it. It's one of those robots that you want to do well, and it tends not to do well in. It's if you don't know what Grated Carrot is, it's Grated Carrot from Robot Wars Omega. It's what I like about it. It's a really good design. It can do well, but it tends to. It's like the Supernova or Disco Inferno of Robot Wars Omega, but it does well in other series, but doesn't do well in its own series. And I think it's a good machine. It does look like it's got potential to be really destructive. Grated Carrot does. It does have a lot of potential to be destructive, but it tends to not be that. Well, it is a destructive machine. The one I built is quite destructive, but and it does look like a good robot as well. Shame they don't do as well in Robot Wars Omega, but I think they can do well in the future. Another favourite of mine, I also like Killer 3 from Robot Wars Armageddon. That's another good machine I love. But I'd say my favourite one out robot in Family Robot Wars has got to be Greater Carrot. But I also like Absolution as well. Absolution is a beast as well. I think they're both beasts. In all fairness, both Greater Carrot and Absolution. I think they're both awesome machines. In all fairness, but yeah, but I think Greater Carrot's not, like I said, it's yeah, I like Greater Carrot. It's a good machine. It's a good robot. I also like I also like Absolution as well. But I like all the robots in Family Robot Wars. So I think there's always one. There's always a lot of unique robots in every Family Robot Wars series. In all fairness, but I like Greater Carrot. They're a cool machine. I like Greater Carrot. I like them. So yeah. And those are the questions from Razor 1905. And thank you for your questions, Razor 1905. Thank you very much for your questions. The next lot of questions come from Crystal Carnage, and he's got 4 questions for me. So the first one is, what is your favourite custom machine? My favourite custom machine I've ever built is Swipe. I love Swipe. I think it's my favourite custom machine of all time. I just love it because I love cats, and I feel like I did a good job of trying to make a cat out of a robot. And I love the axe, I love the eyes, I love the claws at the front. It's probably my favourite custom. It is. I think no, actually, I think it is my favourite custom machine I've ever built. It's one of my favourite custom robots, and yeah, I love Swipe. It's one of my favourite creations I built, and I built it last year, so it's and also one of my favourite Lego robots I've made. So yeah, I love Swipe. They're my favourite custom machine, I'd say. The next question from Crystal Carnage is ice cream or cake? Ice cream. But not just any ice cream, gelato ice cream, which is Italian ice cream. Great ice cream. I don't mind cake, but I like ice cream more. Next question is, are you planning on playing games on the channel? I might do actually. I have had a thought about doing that. I love to do some like let plays of me playing WoW and maybe Robot Arena 2, but I don't know when I'm going to do those yet. I mean, I did have thought today and maybe doing a when the next WoW expansion comes out, which is probably going to be coming this year, which is called Shadowlands. I did think about doing a series where I go from level 1 to level 50 to 60 on my characters, and play through all the new content in Shadowlands. I did think about doing another one from before Shadowlands, trying to make a character and do a level journey from 1 to 120 as well. So, and try and unlock the heritage armor or something, even though the allied races don't start till level 20, so it'll be 20 to 120. But yeah, I do. Yeah, but yeah, I have thought about making a gaming channel, but I don't know if I will. I love to do it though. I love to have a go playing games on my channel. In all fairness, I think that'd be fun to do. I think it'll be a great idea. So yeah, I would actually love to give that a go. I'd love to have a go making doing games on this channel. Play Warcraft, maybe play Spyro as well. Maybe play Robot Arena 2 as well, and Robot Champions and Robot Rumble and stuff like that. So yeah, I'd love to give those a go on my channel. So yeah, that's an idea I'm thinking of. Maybe playing games in the future on this channel. I would love to have a go at doing that. In all fairness. And your next question is what matches in Robot Wars did you find controversial? I thought the Mute versus Judge Shred fight was quite controversial. In all fairness, I mean, I know Mute's a good machine, but I thought Judge Shred was dominating that fight against Mute. It was a good fight. Obviously the Razor versus Tornado one is a very controversial match, depending on what your side of the how you see the battle. But I'd say probably Judge Dredd versus Mute was quite a controversial battle because I felt like Judge Dredd did more to Mute and stuff. In all fairness, Mute was okay, but it's not one of the best robots, I don't think. It's not one of the best machines, Mute. But yeah, I could say that's one of the controversial ones. Obviously, I felt that I'm not sure which ones are. I felt the Wild Thing versus 259 was quite controversial because I did feel like that Wild Thing, 259 did sort of win that battle, but I need to really watch some of these battles again to have an opinion. I've watched many Robot Wars battles quite for a while now, so I need to get back to watching them back to back, Robot Wars. But I'd say those are quite controversial battles. In all fairness, but yeah, I'd say for recent one, I think Mute versus Judge Dredd is quite a controversial battle. But what do you guys think? Do you think Mute versus Judge Dredd 2 was kind of quite controversial? The match in Series 7, the Heat Final. I think it was the Heat Final. Because I think that, and actually I kind of like that version of Judge Dredd as well. I think it was a really good version of Judge Dredd as well, and I think they did really well against Mute. But yeah, those are my opinions though. I think I can't think of any others, to be honest. But yeah, that's what I think is controversial. And yeah, thank you, Crystal Carnage, for your questions as well. Thank you for your questions. So the next questions come from Delboy66. And he asks, what is your favourite robot in Extreme Robots live shows? I kind of like Deadlock because it's an unusual. Because it's a machine I wish we'd have seen in the main in Robot Wars, but unfortunately I think they had issues. But I kind of like Deadlock. They're one of my favourite robots because it's not. But I don't know actually. I kind of like Ripper as well. I do like Ripper. I don't mind Eruption. I kind of like Manta as well. But I'd say Deadlock's one of my favourites because it's a unique design and I like the I do like grab and control bots. I think they're quite cool robots, and I think Deadlock's quite a cool looking machine. They're a really cool machine, Deadlock are. Very cool looking robot, in all fairness. And shame we never got to see him in Robot Wars, but hopefully, no if Robot Wars ever returns in the future, no might see them. But yeah, I like the look of Deadlock. In all fairness, they look like a good robot. Deadlock do. So yeah, and that's one of my favourite. So yeah, that's my some more of my favourite robots. Yeah, like I said, Manta. I don't mind Eruption, but then again, they're from Robot Wars. But I like Two-Headed Death Flamingo. They're a good machine. They're a really good robot. There's a lot of good robots in the live circuit. I kind of like. I like Tango as well. I like the paint job and stuff for that machine. Yeah, there's a lot of robots in the live circuit I like. I can't remember which robots there are in the live circuit, to be honest. And I kind of like Aftershock as well. They're a good machine. I think they do really well in the live tournaments. And I also like Einol. I like the Einol robots. They're really good fun to watch, I think. Yeah, those are my favourite robots from the Extreme Live shows. So yeah, those are my favourite robots from those shows. And thank you to Delboy66 for your question. Thank you very much for your question. Next couple of questions. I only got 3 more questions left. And this next question is from J33 Productions. And he asks... if you could create your own personal dream annihilator using robots in existence, who would you put into it? Why would you put them in and who do you think would win? Right, what would be my dream annihilator? I'd love to see Razor, Chaos 2, and Hypnodisc against Apollo, Carbide, and Eruption, because it's the two, because 3 robots from 2 eras of Robot Wars. So you got the 3 main ones from the classic era, and the 3 champions from Extreme Destruction, Extreme Destruction, sorry, from the reboot series. I think it would be a good fight, but I think Carbide would win it though, because as much as Razor's a good machine and Chaos 2 and Hypnodisc, I think modern technology would catch up to him. I think Carbide would probably destroy Razor. I think probably Eruption or Apollo would probably flip out Chaos 2. If I was going to do it by rounds, I'd say the first one to probably go out would probably be Chaos 2. Even though Chaos 2 is a good machine, it's a good flipper robot, but I think it is a lightweight robot. And if we're going to put the Chaos 2 from Series 6, and seeing how powerful Apollo's flipper is, I think it'd probably flip Chaos 2 out the arena. The next robot I think would probably go out. I think Hypnodisc would go out because again I think Hypnodisc was a good robot. I think it lacked in Series 6 for me. Hypnodisc. I think with the modern armor and stuff like that, I think probably Carbide would probably destroy Hypnodisc or something, or and I think probably maybe Eruption might flip out Hypnodisc and stuff. And if Apollo again gets good driving and flips Hypnodisc, I think they'd probably flip them out. And then I think in the next round, I think I'd probably say Razor, because they'd probably gang up on Razor. I could see. Mind you, I think Razor could get on the side of Apollo or something, or Eruption. I think if they had some good drive. I mean, Ian Lewis was quite a good driver in Robot Wars, so I think if they had a good driver, had some good driving, I think they could claw onto Apollo and Eruption. But I think because of the power of the flippers, I think if Eruption or Apollo gets a good driving on Razor, and also I think because of Carbide's strong weapon, I think it'd probably destroy Razor. As much as Razor's a good, beautiful machine, I think it get torn apart these days because because of the new breed of robots. I think Carbide would probably be one of the dominant robots in that battle. I think they'd probably destroy Razor and probably immobilize Razor. And then I think Razor would go out. And then I think next robot would probably be Eruption, because even though Eruption won Series 10, I think if they never used to come up well against a Carbide, even though they won. I think they won that through luck. Series 10 final. I think Carbide could batter probably Eruption and probably immobilize Eruption. I think they'd probably go out next Eruption, because if Carbide got in a good hits and then could mobilize Eruption and probably knock them out and probably push them down in the pit or something. And then and then it'd be between Apollo and Eruption, not Apollo and Eruption, Apollo and Carbide in the final. And I think Carbide would do what he did to Carbide in the Series 9 final, where it battered them. And I think Carbide would probably be the winner. So yeah, I think that those would be the robots, and that's who I'd think a winner. I think they would win. But hey, does anyone agree with that? Do you reckon if those three were in Annihilator, do you think they would win? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Who would you think would win? Razor, Hypnodisc in that Annihilator, Chaos 2, Razor, Hypnodisc, Carbide, Eruption, Apollo, and what order do you think they would go out in? I would say that order because how even though they're all good robots, Chaos 2, Hypnodisc, and Razor, I think with modern technology, I think they'd fall apart. But no, I'd love to see that fight, but in matter of fact, I wouldn't like to see Razor or something get torn apart. I think Chaos 2 would probably get damaged quite heavily in that battle. But yeah, that's what I think. Those are the robots I'd love to have if I had a dream annihilator, and that's who I think I win. I think Carbide would win it, and I've done it because it's best of both eras. Top three, well, I'd say top three of the classic era, and then you got the top three of the modern era, well, the reboot era. So, what do you not agree with that, or do you reckon that Razor or Chaos 2 would win that battle? What do you think? I'll be interested to see what you think of that Annihilator, in all fairness. So yeah, and that was J33 Productions question, and thank you for your question, J33 Productions as well. Thank you for your question. And now on to two more questions. The next question is from Alpha Blizzard Productions, and it is, what is your favourite TV channel and TV show? I'd say my favourite TV channel, well, if this counts, I'd say my favourite TV channel at the moment is YouTube. I mean, I don't really watch much television nowadays, because most of the time, the only thing I really watch these days is majority of the time is YouTube and Twitch, because I like to watch game streams on Twitch, and I do watch a lot of videos on YouTube, mainly fan-made Robot Wars and stuff like that. So I think that's what I spend my time mostly doing when I'm not doing gaming or making robots. But if another channel, if I had to pick another favourite channel, no favourite TV show besides Robot Wars, I'd say Horrible History is quite my favourite, another favourite TV show of mine, because actually recently I've been watching Horrible Histories back to back. If you don't know what Horrible History is, it's a kids TV show where they basically take sketches of historical periods. So you got the awful Egyptians, the rotten Romans, the vile Victorians, amazing Middle Ages. You got many different time periods from different eras, and they basically make it funny in a way that's horrible. So it's quite, if you ever get a chance to ever watch it, it's quite a good series. I enjoy it. I enjoyed watching it to the point I used to collect all the DVDs of it as well. I still got them as well on my shelf. Horrible Histories. Yeah, I love Horrible Histories. It's probably my second favourite show to Robot Wars. I also like another TV show called Most Haunted, which is basically where they go to haunted locations. I don't know if you ever heard of Most Haunted or anything, but I like that sort of show, because I don't just like it for the ghost hunts. I like it for the history, because they go to these really old buildings where they're meant to be haunted and stuff. Even though there's been some real disappointments, like when they went to the Ancient Ramin, which is meant to be the most haunted place in this country, but it was an awful episode. But I like the newer series of Most Haunted, because I think it's a lot more better to watch than when they used to have the mediums and stuff on it. So I don't know if you ever watch Most Haunted, any of you lot, but there's some of my other favourite shows beside Robot Wars. But my main favourite show is probably Robot Wars, and I'd say Horrible Histories, then Most Haunted. I think those are my two favourite shows. But channel-wise, I'm stuck, to be honest, because I don't really watch many. I'd say if YouTube counts, I'd say that's my favourite channel, because it's the only channel I really watch these days. I used to like Really, because it used to have Most Haunted on, but they got rid of it. So, but then again, I did like History, and I did used to enjoy watching that show Ancient Aliens, which was quite a funny show. But yeah, so that's my favourite channel and TV show. And yeah, that's a sort of my favourite TV show slash channels as well. So yeah. And yeah, thank you to Alpha Blizzard Productions for your question as well. Thank you for your question. And now on to the last question, which is by Turtle Noob, and it is: who do you think is the most overrated robot in Robot Wars, BattleBots, and King of Bots? I'm not sure really. I'm not sure. If I was gonna say what robots are overrated by, they're good, but I don't think they win it. I'd say robots like I don't know. I think for BattleBots, I'd say Bronco's quite an overrated robot because as much as it's a good machine, I do like watching Bronco and stuff. But the problem is about Bronco is it's a big, wide machine, and it can easily get beat. If it gets good competition, then it's got very. I think if it gets good competitions like Tombstone and good spinners, then it tends to struggle. So, as much as Bronco's a good machine, I don't think it'll ever win BattleBots, if that makes sense. I mean, it's like I said, it's an interesting machine to watch. I like Bronco, but I think it is a bit overrated because I think it could easily get beat. Because if it's got a robot like I mean, another decent flipper robot could easily beat it. I mean, it is a wide robot, so it's kind of quite easy to attack. I think Bronco. For Robot Wars, I'm not sure. I'd say it's overrated. I'd say someone probably like Bigger Brother is a bit overrated. I mean, it is a good machine, but it's not one that. I mean, it's okay robot. No, I wouldn't say they're overrated. They're actually alright. I'd say Eruption because I know they've won fights and stuff, but and I know they won Robot Wars, but their strategies. I don't think most of their fights are that entertaining. I mean, some of their fights are quite entertaining, eruptions, but they're not bad. I mean, they're not a bad robot, but they're not my favourite robot ever. But I'd say they're quite. I'd say they're quite underrated. What do you? I don't know if you people agree, but that's just my opinion. I think eruption's quite underrated. For King of Bots, I don't know really because I don't really watch. Like I said, I don't really watch King of Bots that often, and I don't think I watched bits of it, but I've never really watched it that much, to be honest. So I can't say who's really underrated or overrated to that certain extent. I say, I think Eruption's overrated. I kept saying Eruption's underrated. Why am I saying underrated, not overrated? But yeah, I'd say. But for King of Bots, I'm not sure about King of Bots because I don't really watch it that much. And your second question is, who do you think is the most underrated robot in Robot Wars, BattleBots, and King of Bots? I think there's a lot of quite underrated robots, in all fairness, in Robot Wars and BattleBots. I think for Robot Wars, I'd say Eric's quite an underrated robot. I mean, I don't mind Eric. I mean, who would I say is quite underrated for a robot? I think Donald Thump was quite underrated in. I'm not sure if they were, but I think they're quite underrated in Robot Wars. I think they had potential. Donald Thump. Shame it never really got going for them, but Um, um, I think I can't think of much a robot was. I might say Eric. I mean, I know Eric looked like a bit of a. I don't think it looked like a joke robot, but it didn't do too bad for me. Eric didn't. Um, I mean, it did look like it was a quite effective robot. I know it was slow and stuff, but if you give it modern technology, it could do well. I mean, it did put up some. I mean, I know it played against Small Talk, um, but I'd say Small Talk's one of the most. I mean, to say All Talk from Robot Wars looked like a Gun Machine Series 3, then went to make Small Talk. I don't know why they did that. All Talk was an awesome machine, but it was a shame they never continued with that robot. But I did think uh, Eric did put up a good fight up against Splinter. In all fairness, I can't think of any more. I'd say underrated. I need to really watch Robot Wars again. I might do a top 10 one day if I say what a top 5 underrated robots one day, or something. Underrated and overrated robots one day. Because there's a lot of robots I just can't think of the top of my head, and I've watched it that many times. But for BattleBots, I'd say that was it Undercutter or what was that? Uppercut. I thought that Uppercut was quite underrated because I thought they were a really good machine. I thought they put some really good battles in last season's BattleBots. I thought Uppercut were an awesome machine. Awesome machine. Because they really surprised me to say. I also think Ribot's quite underrated as well. Because even though they look like a joke robot, they put up some really good fights, and I think they do have some potential. I mean, I didn't think they died quickly. I mean, they did beat off a really good machine in Endgame. Oh, I should say spoilers, but I've been surprised no one's watched it by now. But yeah, I think they're quite underrated as well. Ribot. I think they looked like a quite good machine in the last season of BattleBots. In all fairness, Ribot. So yeah, I'd say they're quite underrated. But for King of Bots, I'm not sure because, like I said, I don't really. I watch much of it. I need to watch some of it just to get an opinion out of it. But yes, and I'd say that's my underrated and overrated robots for both Robot Wars and BattleBots, though. So, but then again, there's lots of good robots, and I think there's just a lot of robots that got overrated and some got underrated in Robot Wars. Actually, I think that if I was going to say another underrated robot for Robot Wars, could have been that Gravedigger, or some of the machines that got knocked out in the first round. That I don't know why they got drawn up against some robots, but it's like Gravedigger. They look quite good. Shame we never got to see them much in Series 5. That axe looked brutal. But I don't know. What do you think? Actually, what do you think of my opinions of the underrated robots? Do you think Eruption's overrated? Do you think I can't remember what I said for BattleBots, but do you think Uppercut's quite underrated or Eric or anything? I know Eric wasn't the best at robots, but it did look okay. But yeah. But those are just my opinions. But yeah. And thank you to Turtle Noob for your questions as well. Thank you for your questions. And that concludes. And that was the last question of the Q&A, and that concludes the Q&A. And I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone for your questions. I tried to answer them as best as I can. I've never done one of these before, but if I get it wrong or something, I Hope I haven't stuttered too much in this. 'Cause I do. Sometimes when I do talk fast and I don't realise I'm doing it. But I actually quite enjoyed doing it. I kind of quite enjoyed talking about Robot Wars and why I got into YouTube and stuff like that. And so yeah, and I've enjoyed this Q&A. So what did you think of this Q&A? What did you think of my first ever Q&A? Did you think I did okay with the Q&A? Do you think I answered all your questions? Did I do you think I did a good job at answering all the questions and stuff? But yeah, this is the first time I've done it. If I might have messed it up a bit, but I don't think I did. But if I did, I mean, I hope I did okay with it. It's probably going to be an hour long, this one, but yeah, I had to split it. Well, split it because the camera decided to die, but it decided to the storage got full, so I had to film it again. So, but yeah, so that's all I have to say, and I have to say thank you all for subscribing to my channel. It's great fun. Been doing YouTube so far. I hope to continue doing it more. I will do. I've got lots planned over the next couple of months. Well, got some other tournaments planned up soon. Obviously, we've got Deadstock Wars continuing on Fridays. We've got Heat O. We only got 2 more heats to go. We've got the War of Independence special as well, which is the second special planned to do as part of this 50 subs special. And yeah. And if you did like this video, do give a thumbs up and do subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. Let me know what you thought of my opinions of the Razor Cage and overrated robots. What robots do you think are overrated? What machines do you think are underrated? What do you think of my Fantasy Annihilator? Do you agree with would you agree with the outcome, or do you think an Oro would have won that? So but yeah, so that's all I have to say for this Q&A. And like I said, thank you all so much for subscribing, and thank you all so much for your questions. I enjoyed doing this Q&A. It's the first one I've ever done. I hope I haven't messed it up, but yeah, and I shall see you next time for more another video. Bye bye.